Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Venom 3-pack. This is an Amazon exclusive, the 3-pack being Venom, Riot, and Agony. These are the final two symbiotes to complete the Life Foundation team. We had, in previous years, had Phage released in a Venom wave. We had Scream released in a Venom wave, and we also had Lasher released in a Spider-Man wave, the Lizard Build-A-Figure. So with these three symbiotes plus Agony and Riot, again, that it completes the Life Foundation. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's been years coming, so it's nice to kind of finish it off in a box set with a pretty cool Venom, although it is essentially a repaint after we've had a million goddamn Venoms released. We had the Spider-Man animated series cel-shaded Venom figure that was PulseCon exclusive on the retro card. It uses this same body but does make improvements as we get a new half Venom masked Eddie Brock head sculpt that's going to be pretty awesome, and it doesn't have the cel shading, another thing, and then the two damn shoulder peg holes got filled in on this new Venom. So some cool stuff that gets added to it. So let's check it out. This box is tiny, by the way. Like, it's not very big at all. So to kind of show you guys, here's a retro card. It's actually not as wide as a retro card and barely taller than the retro card. So the new plastic-free packaging, they can make packages a lot smaller than they have in the past. So some awesome artwork there in the front side. This side you see Venom, Agony, and Marvel's Riot. Here on the back of the package, we get a couple of bios for each one of them. So for Venom, it says, captured by the Life Foundation and subjected to excruciating experiments, Eddie Brock finds himself forcibly separated from Venom as his captors seek to harvest the symbiote's offspring. Agony. Unique amongst her symbiote siblings, Agony possesses all the same abilities as her siblings with the added power to spit deadly acid. That's pretty cool. Marvel's Riot. One of 5 sibling symbiotes harvested from Venom by the Life Foundation. The Riot symbiote shows a predilection for hammers and other bludgeoning weapons. Okay, so he, creates those weapons with his hands and things like that. Riot was, of course, the villain of the first Venom movie. But without further ado, let's get right to it. Venom logo up at the top. I am going to show you guys a little bit about how the inside of the packaging looks, just so you guys could see, because how these box sets are now going to be, since there's no plastic. They shove these things in there. Like, it's pretty crazy how they do it. So as you can see, everything's wrapped in tissue papers, but it's all shoved in there, to maximize the amount of space that is within these boxes. So it's kind of crazy. And I think one funny thing is Agony, they actually put her in without her head on there because it would take too much space in the package for her head to have been like on there. I think that's one of the funniest things ever. So she's got some crazy hair going there. Looks really, really cool. Let me zoom in there. So that's pretty awesome. We have the back piece to Riot, because just like the Monster Build-A-Figure, the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure that this shares the body with, that piece you had to piece together. So here we have his back piece there. So everything's kind of coming along. Each one of these tissue bags has some accessories and whatnot. I think this is going to be Venom's head and Venom's hands. So in the package, he's going to have the Eddie Brock head on there, and we get this nice pearly white there for the eyes instead of just a regular standard white paint, and that came out looking great. Really like that. It's almost like a silvery look to it. That's pretty nice. Let's see. Oh, and here's Riot's blade hand. That's just, might as well just pull it out of the tissue paper. It's already kind of ripped through there, and that's really nice. We get this indigo color, this bluish purple color for his hand. So it looks like that peg is actually on a ball joint. Nope, it's not. It's stationary on there, so that kind of sucks. Get this tissue paper out of the way there, and then the figures are in there, and you can see Riot is just like stuffed in there with his knees bent and everything. So pretty wild. So let me get these figures out of the tissue paper and let's check out the set. Okay, so here are the 3 symbiotes out of the package. So Agony is here. Her head has kind of some of that lollipop look where the head just sits super high up on the neck, which kind of sucks. She comes with an extra pair of hands, so she's got some fists to go along with a clawed hands type that she has. Eddie Brock Venom here, he has the 2 head sculpts that comes with him, and then the 2 hands are the open hands, and then he comes with fists. As you can see here, and then Riot himself comes out of the package, right? He has the 2 open clawed hands, and then he has that bladed right hand or left hand, depending on whichever hand that you want to put it on. It could work with either or. So let's take a quick look at Riot first, and we'll go into Venom. We'll take a look at Agony first. I guess maybe we'll go by size: small, medium, large. Like, that face is kind of creepy looking, right? It's scary looking. So her eyes are done in that pearlescent white too as well, so not as much shine on them as like the Venom and the Riot figures, but you do get a little bit, and then the same goes in for the mouth there, and then you could see that her teeth kind of get a little bit of a different color, or actually maybe it's just kind of that dark burgundy shading that they kind of put throughout the jaw and then in the front of the face there, as opposed to like the hot pink skin tone that you see at towards the back of her head, which is kind of the same color as the hair, but again we get some like some shading going on in there of that darker color to bring out some of the details. It just kind of sticks to this first portion, and then it's all just the solid color to the end. And I like how here at the end of her hair it kind of goes into like an arrowhead type design. But looking at mine, I don't really have any paint issues on mine, thankfully. I don't know if anybody has had any issues, but the way the design of the paint kind of looks, as you can see, like it's kind of have like this drip look to it with the symbiote, you know, into the different colors. I could see where some of the paint could be really off for some folks. Luckily, I don't have an issue. All my paint apps look pretty clean, no real issues or anything going in there. And then in some cases, if it looks sloppy, it could be the design of it, right? We're not supposed to have like straight edges or anything like that in these certain areas, so it comes off looking pretty good, as well as the back of the figure. And then down into the legs, we get that as well. The figure is pinless, so pinless knees and pinless double jointed elbows, so that all works really well. But yeah, she looks pretty good. The head, the hair, it's kind of weird how it looks. Like when you have the head, and I want to be careful because, oh man, look how high up on the neck that it sits. Like I'm really scared that I'm going to bust that hinge. Like that scares the hell out of me, so I don't want to pop it off. But the way the head looks, it almost looks like, you know, like in the Venom movie where it's just the Venom head as he's talking to Eddie Brock. That's really how, like when you have this hair and you hold it out, that's how the head really looks, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the head's just way too high up on that neck. It's pretty scary. But there she is, and that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at Venom. Okay, so here's a up close look at the Eddie Brock head, and this is the really cool one because we see the transformation of Eddie Brock into Venom, and that just looks scary and cool all at the same time. Like his big old bug-eyed for his right eye, you actually see some red in there. Just looks really menacing and really crazy. I did bring out one of the Venom figures that had the Eddie Brock head. They are not really the same other than the blonde hair and dark ass eyebrow, but they did not use like a similar head sculpt or anything like that. They are very, very different. As you can see here, we get a much wider jaw, wider face compared to what we have here, and I would say a taller face, I guess, but you know, the size difference of the Venoms is kind of crazy. But yeah, this transforming head sculpt is awesome. We get some of the tendrils of the Venom symbiote over there. Just looks really good. A little bit of painted symbiote head, symbiote on his forehead there, and then it's like this is a separate piece glued onto the head, and it just came out looking fantastic. I really like the way it looks. We also get a full Venom head sculpt here, and again, the eyes, I really love the way they did the eyes. It's like a pearlescent white or silver color, which just adds a little bit of shine under the bright lights and looks really good. And then looking at the head sculpt, it kind of reminds you of like a movie inspired head sculpt, but kind of not. So it looks really good. The teeth look good, the red gums look good, the tongue looks good. There's no slime or anything on this one, but it looks great. Let's pop it on there and see how it looks. And that looks fantastic. And this could be the best Venom figure that they have released because we get those shoulder peg holes filled in with these little tendrils that stick up. Nice little touch that they didn't do on the PulseCon Retro cell shaded one, which they should have done. I think laziness on their part, because they did say that timing wise they couldn't fill them because they were re-releasing that Omega Red and that Wolverine box set. That's fine then if you're not going to do that, but then why didn't you produce these tendrils to plug into those holes then at that time? They maybe didn't think about it, maybe they were rushed. Either way, it was a big oversight and something that really sucked. At the end of the day, it didn't take away my enjoyment and my excitement for that figure, but then when they re-released the same thing with this, it's like, well, why didn't they think of that a year ago? So it's unfortunate. But the Spider logo is the exact same as the animated series cel-shaded version that we had gotten in the past. You can see there's really no difference to it. It is the exact same there. The body parts and everything are the same, but of course the head sculpts are different. But these ones are awesome. But for me, it's not about this head sculpt, although it's really good. It's about this transforming head sculpt, which is just awesome, because we have Venom heads, we have an Eddie Brock head, now we have kind of the transition between the two. Oh, and for the rest of the figure, not a whole lot going on there. White for the hands. Just the rest of the figure is black. We get a little bit of more of a matte black on a little bit of the torso and these top hips, whereas we get kind of a more shiny black for the rest of the figures. So that kind of sucks from there, but it's not too distracting or anything like that. But looks really good. Paint apps are fairly clean, other than right here it kind of sucks, and then right there it kind of sucks. But other than that, nice and clean on mine. Okay, and here we have Riot. Now, the big question is, why the hell is Riot the color that he is? And that's a good question. I don't really know. I think Riot has probably been more depicted as being gray, right? Maybe I'm wrong in that. You can Google images and you could see where, you know, he is kind of that bluish color, and it fits and kind of works well here. I think gray would have looked cooler. But it is what it is, and we got this color for Riot. I doubt that we will get another Riot figure somewhere down the line. The Life Foundation is done. It's finished. I can't imagine Hasbro is going to re-release any of these, other than the simple fact that they are all super easy repaints, but we shall see. To break up the color differences, as you can see throughout the figure in certain areas, we get this dark purple color that's painted on to kind of show some of the differences in skin color, and that's kind of throughout the legs. Not on the feet at all, but throughout the legs we get it, throughout the torso, throughout the shoulder, the arms, and the hands, as well as his back. There is very little of it, and of course I had to put the back piece on there because it was separately in the box. We don't get anything on the back of the legs, not really on the back of the arms either, except the back of the bicep. We get there. We didn't actually get any on the right hand, just that left. Those two spots there. So that's where we see all of that. We get a little bit on the front of his face. His eyes are extremely large and extremely shiny. We get that pearlescent color in there, and that came out looking really good. I love the way the shine looks as it is when you have it in hand. Came out looking really good. Teeth look pretty good. Head looks kind of crazy. He's scary looking. He's menacing. That all looks pretty good. Looking at his hand, how it's sculpted there. I love how it's kind of like, let me see, did I put that on? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it looks all the way, unless you do something like that, but I don't think that really works. Oh, because it popped right off. But anyway, kind of like Phage, the way they did the hand, where it looks like it's kind of reaching and covering over his hand portion. I really like the way that looks, because it looks like it's just grabbing over and the goo is just taking over that body part. And why can't I get it to stay? That doesn't hold very well, so that sucks. But see how it's kind of coming over the arm? Let's pop it onto the right arm and see if that makes a difference, because on the left, it just does not want to stay. Yeah, it definitely holds a little bit better on his right than it does on his left. But, you know, the artwork on the package shows it on his left hand, so that's why I wanted to do that for his left. But even still, you know, it just didn't... Yeah, I don't think it was executed really well to get to stay on there, unless I'm not forcing it down all the way. So just be aware of that fact. But the sculpt of it looks really nice. I just wish it would have executed better on the hand. Maybe if the peg was longer to peg into the wrist or something. But yeah, something was definitely slightly off with it. And the way the curvature of the arm, the wrist, as you can see, that it's not flat, it's got at an angle, and I don't know if they took that into consideration with this, and I think that could be the difference maker there. But Riot is cool. He is huge. He's essentially the monster Venom, just, you know, repainted into this blue color with a little bit of purple. I do think gray would have looked a lot better in my opinion, but this way we get a very colorful Life Foundation, which we will take a look at right now. Okay, and here is the full Life Foundation all together. We got Phage, Agony, Scream, Lasher, and Riot here in the back. And they're nice and colorful, and they all look pretty good. And again, I think that's maybe why they went with the design that they did for Riot. Excuse me, so you can have all your colorful symbiotes all together looking menacing and scary. Lasher's kind of a pain in the ass because those tentacles keep, or tendrils I guess it would be, keep wanting to pop out. Scream has a whole lot of damn hair going on in the back of her head, makes her very top heavy. But these were all essentially repainted figures. They got new head sculpts. Well, Lasher didn't. Lasher just uses a Spider-Man head sculpt because he doesn't have an open mouth. But I think they all look pretty good. It's nice to have completed teams. Hasbro does complete teams, but it takes them years to do. And a lot of them, they're still working on, as Puff Adder is going to be one of the new Build-A-Figures coming up. So it adds to the Serpent Society. At this rate, it's going to be another 5 years before they even finish Serpent Society. We'll see how long that's going to go, but they could do a box set type of thing where they knock out a few of the characters like they did here in the Venom set to add in Riot and Agony. And then, of course, we have Venom that gets added to this set. If I can kind of set up this figure and pose him out a little bit, and he's going to be towering over everybody, taking up all the space, blocking faces. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at all those symbiotes there. That looks pretty cool. I kind of like that. I'm going to snap a picture of that. Looks good. Okay, so we're going to go over articulation now. We're going to speed run it. Riot can look down that much. He can look up that much, which is pretty good. You get a full rotation in there. Some pivot going on, but it's really just kind of when you swivel it. That's how it works out. The shoulder can go straight out like so. You do get a full rotation in there. You have an upper bicep swivel, a single jointed elbow, that gives you a perfect 90-degree bend there. It does have a pin in there. It is not a new body. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. Both of the clawed hands have a hinge, but the blade hand does not have a hinge. Ab crunch, so Riot can crunch forward that much. He can crunch back that much, which is essentially just standing straight up. You have a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. He can't kick forward that far. Leg goes back ever so slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. You get a double jointed knee that does have pins in it, again, because this is a reused body mold from the Monster Venom figure, which was then released as a deluxe Venom, which was then also released as a deluxe Toxin figure. Now here we have the Riot figure. We actually have a mid calf, lower calf swivel in there. Foot hinges all the way down. Tiny bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. That is Riot. Let's move on into Agony. Let's get him out of the way. I don't even know where I'm going to put him. I'm going to shove him over there. Here we have Agony. Let's see what she can do. Her head, again, sits very high up on the neck. It kind of scares me, but she can look down that way, that much, which is kind of alarming and scary and weird looking. She can look up that much. The hair really gets in the way, but that's kind of straight up, but you can really see the hinge on the neck because it sits too high up on that neck. But why doesn't it go further down? You can do a full rotation in there. The hair does allow for that, and you can get some insane pivot going on in there, so that works out really well. The shoulder, you get to go out and up quite a bit. You get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel on a female figure, which we don't get to say very often, but more and more it keeps happening. I am very happy. Double jointed elbow as well. It gives you that much bend at the elbow. It is pinless, so that is amazing. Wrist swivel, and they do have the standard horizontal hinge. She does come with fists that have the standard horizontal hinge on them as well. Diaphragm cut, because it is a female figure and we can only go so far. They haven't adjusted the torso yet. She can pivot to her left that much. She can pivot to her right that much. She can go back a little bit there. She can come forward, probably hardly anything at all. Look at that, hardly anything at all. Swivel at the diaphragm cut. That works out pretty well. A little bit stiff. The hair gets in the way. It's heavy. Legs go out that far apart. She can't kick forward super duper high. That was great. Leg goes back ever so slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knees on Agony. And those look really, really good, as you can see there. No calf swivel of any kind. Foot hinges down, hinge up, ankle pivot, pegcles at the bottom of the feet. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but she does have like bare feet with spiky toes on this figure. So that is a nice touch instead of like the shoed look to it. So she matches with Lasher and Riot, while Phage and Scream have like shoe type feet. But there is Riot. Now let's take a look at Venom. So this is not going to be anything new. So if you have the PulseCon Retro Cell Shaded Venom, you know exactly what to expect. He can't look down that much. He can look up that much. That is great. You get a full rotation, although the tongue is going to hit the tendril, so maybe that doesn't work out so well. You get some pivot going on in there. The shoulder you can get to go like so, and we have a butterfly joint there, so you can get that arm to go way back far. You can get that arm a little bit forward, so you can get some crossbody. Not a huge amount, but you get some, right? It's cool that it's there. It's a nice touch. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow that gives you just about 90 degrees. It is not pinless. This has been reused from originally the Omega Red body. The forearms are new because they have like the tendrils and symbiote kind of on there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge, although it is a little bit of an angle compared. We have an ab crunch on this guy. So with his ab crunch, he can crunch forward that much. Not bad. He can go back quite a bit. The spider logo stays intact, so that is cool. Waist swivel on this guy. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that much, which is pretty high. Does go back a little bit. Upper thigh cut in there. Thick ass leg. Double jointed knee. It is not pinless. He has pins in there. No calf swivel or boot swivel on this guy. Foot hinges down like so. Hinges up a little bit. Ankle pivot, pegcles at the bottom of the feet. So pretty good articulation here. He does move around a little bit nicely for a big guy because he has the butterfly joints. The ab crunch works out really well. So the elbow is a little bit limited, only going 90 degrees. But damn it, doesn't that look good? I think it does. Okay, so there we have it. There is the Life Foundation, the Venom 3-pack. So Lasher, Phage, and Scream. Ignore them, but I just wanted to show you guys how they're all just kind of standing up. All essentially about the same height. Scream and Agony are about the same height. Obviously, Riot is going to be taller. But there we have it. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this 3-pack? I think it's actually really good. Probably our best Venom. The Eddie Brock transforming head sculpt is awesome. We finished a team with the Life Foundation, 2 of the members. So that is also really cool. Riot is definitely going to be the link, the weak link in this box set. Unfortunately, the size is cool and all that. The color is just a little bit off in my opinion. It would have been cool to get a gray version, but again, nice and colorful Skittles bowl right there. Agony is actually really cool. I hate that her head is too far up on the head sculpt, but the body is awesome. The paint apps are really cool. I really like it. But looking at the team together, finally, Hasbro, good job. But I really like to say, you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this set. What do you think of the Venom in particular, which I think is one that a lot of people really wanted from this set, not necessarily Riot and Agony. The Venom is really nice. I will tell you that. Really, really nice set. $77.99 for the set. Is it overpriced? I'm actually surprised at the price. You know, with 2 figures, $25, $25, $50. With third figure, $75 at $78. But that's a deluxe figure. They ended up going $3 more. Hey, I'll take it. Not bad. Will there be a sale eventually? Maybe. Probably. Will I wait? No, I kind of like to get it, and it's always risky playing the long game. But hey, link in the video description below if it's something that you're interested in ordering now. I think it's still available, but it's there just in case. But you guys, again, let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys are interested in joining the MCU Collective and becoming a channel member, hit that join button. If you like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.